Hello, everybody. Coffee, yes. Okay, so I wanted to share this with you because I learned this a long time ago from a spirit. Most of the things I've learned, actually, all of the things I've learned, and I would say maybe 10% I've learned from people walking around on Earth, but I have learned all the things that I talk about on my podcasts. Did I say podcast? Oh, I did. The House Medium podcast. If you're not listening, you should be listening. I'll get into that later. But anyway, on my YouTube here, in my Patreon, and did I mention Patreon? Yes. Excuse the noise. There's some noise pollution outside. But everything I've learned is from the spirit world. And one time I was doing a reading and a spirit said to me, they don't call this place the other side. They call it advanced life, meaning life advances, right? That they just continue living in this advanced state. Doesn't mean that you have to reach this high potential on the other side or that you elevate into this, transitioning. What they're teaching me or what they taught me is that life continues, not only advances, but you advance in your learning and understanding. And I feel like this is important because people tend to think, when they think of the dead, they think of people just kind of staying there and just staying in place and they're not moving forward. However, people are it's like a city. When I see that realm, I see like a city. I call it the city. It's like this whole other place of living. It's just like moving into this other advanced state of understanding. You don't have a physical body. You don't have to deal with any of those things. You don't have to deal with time or space. So you are able to advance pretty easily and pretty quickly. So I want to start using this term. Now, I don't know how to use it and make it sound so smooth because I know afterlife or the other side or the veil is definitely what we think of, but advanced life, moving into this advanced state. Now, I just want to be clear because a lot of people teach this idea of that means you're better than or higher than, but there is no hierarchy on the other side. And that's the misconception. And that's the problem a lot of times with spirituality that is taught in these hierarchies. I mean, that's how cults get made. Okay? You know how I feel about cults. So that is why when you think of the other realm, when you're thinking of people or the advanced, city, you're thinking of them staying where they were when you knew them, and they're not. They see it of like, oh wow, there's this whole other way of living to learn. There's this whole other way of being, and they're excited to share it with you, which is why when we treat spirits like they need us and we yell at them and go, who are you and what are you doing and all this, it's not cool. It's not cool to treat them like people who are, annoying or bothered or scary, because these are just like people. These are people who made your coffee. They're people who operated on you. They're just people who died. So when we're yelling at them and we're treating them like, who are you and what are you doing? Just because they're invisible to you and you can't see them or can't feel them and you're scared. And that's the real reason why you're doing this, is because you're afraid. However, if you look at it as an advanced state, just kind of like we're moving into a new era when you die, you move into this place. But that does also mean you have to look at yourself and look at things about your life. Now, I posted on my TikTok this idea that they have this new thing. Can we show it? This new thing where you can look at, I don't know if we can show it, but there's an AR thing where you can look at your memories of videos that you've had, and you can be in VR and AR. It's like you're in real time. And that is how that realm works. That is absolutely how that realm works. You are able to revisit times in your life, not only your own, but other people's, but it is more advanced, get it, than that, because you can see it through all of the people's eyes. So if you're looking at a memory, you're seeing it through that person's eyes and all the people in this video with you. So that is how you learn about yourself and how you affected people and how they saw you and all of that. And that is why it's advanced. It's just kind of like when you move into that realm, when you move into an advanced state of living, then you are moving past the limitation of time and space. However, do I believe that this world is starting to give us a taste of what that world is like? Yes, we are. But they're always, to me, going to be ahead of this world, because even our technology is very barbaric compared. However, if you want to understand it more, then kind of look at our technology as a way to understand that world. It's much like the internet. But most importantly, try to treat the people in your life who died not like you're afraid of them. Remember and talk to them like you knew them in this world. So a couple of tips to do is just kind of talk to them like you knew them in this world. The other thing is to kind of look at your fear, and what is your fear about? Is it about not understanding how that world works? Is it really just because you can't see or hear and it kind of freaks you out? Is it a fear of your own immortality? Mortality, not immortality. That would be interesting. Is it your own mortality? Is that what's causing it? And once you kind of look at the fear and you understand it, then you can move past it. Because I get asked this question a lot. How do I move past the fear? How do I move past the fear? And that is one of the ways, is to look at, where is this fear coming from? Was it the way you were raised? I know I was raised very religious, so there was a lot of stuff going on there. Is it having to do with that? Does it have to do with something someone told you? Because if you look at all those things and you try to wash them out, and you remember that the person you miss and the person you love is just that, the person you miss and the person you love, and they're just living in an advanced state of being, and that is it, then you'll be able to access them more. All right. So I do wanted to kind of get into my podcast, The House Medium. Now, I started in my podcast, if you send in your emails and you ask me questions about spirits and things like this in your home or work, then I will answer you. Will come on my podcast and I will answer you. I'm doing this because, we're talking, and the listeners will be able to hear what I said to them and what the person response is. So there's like an actual beginning, middle, end. If you are nervous about coming on the podcast, then I am doing episodes called The Reader's Room, and you will still send in your emails and I will read them, and I'll have a special episode where I'm just reading the emails and answering them. And this is an awesome way to kind of learn, to hear other people that have gone through something similar, but also you get to hear amazing stories that people have shared about present and past, and getting over this fear and learning more and understanding the advanced idea, that the spirit is just advancing, because that's pretty much everything about what I do. Everything I'm teaching is about how the spirit is moving into an advanced state of being. And if we can start seeing it that way, instead of like this scary thing that's floating out into space somewhere, then it can change how we look at death. All right. So I hope to see you there. I'm also doing a workshop, on a one-day workshop for everybody who did my psychic classes. And even if you've done any kind of psychic stuff with me, I'm doing a one day where you guys can practice with each other, because I'm trying to build like connection and everyone talking and things like this. And that will be on Sunday. You can sign up for that. And anything else I'll post on my Instagram and everything like that. So follow yourself, follow no one, listen. Oh, and my Patreon. Forgot to mention my Patreon, because I did post for my Patreons your monthly speed reading. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to put that in there because I did do that for everyone. And new meditation. All right. Follow yourself. Follow no one. Listen to your inner voice, and see you soon.